Hey guys, welcome to another video. As you can probably see from the title, I'll be talking about how to finance your medical school degree as an international student. Now, this is the most asked question, the most requested video so far since I started this page. It's also like probably the hardest question to answer, to be honest, because yeah, it's just difficult. It's difficult. But let's get right into it. So first of all, yeah, it's definitely hard financing your medical school education as an international student and even as a non-international student. Okay, everybody takes loans at least, okay, I'm just throwing out this number, I'm just throwing it out, but I would say like 85% of medical students take federal loans. Okay, if you Google it, I'm sure you get the right statistics. It's probably more, but I'm just gonna go 85% because medical school is expensive. It's expensive. And like, international students are not eligible for federal loans. Okay, so that makes it a lot more difficult for internationals, and this is actually the major reason why medical schools do not accept internationals, because they want to make sure that you're able to pay for your medical school degree, and they know it's difficult to pay out of pocket because it is expensive. So yeah, it's hard, but I'll just get right into a couple options that we have as international. All right, so the first thing is you could pay out of pocket. All right, if you're able to pay out of pocket, if you're able to find a family member, you know, your parents are able to help you with some of it, if you have friends who are able to help you with some of it, that is a possibility. That's an option. There are people who are able to fund their medical school education off pocket. Okay, so if you have that option, if you have friends, if you have family who's able to support you, use all that support. Get all the support you could get. Okay, and pay for your medical school education. There are people too who kind of like work for a couple years as an international. If you do your undergrad degree here, you have, like, especially if you like do something in the STEM, so science, technology, engineering, math, that's it, I think. But yeah, STEM degrees, you're able to work for about 4 years. So some people do work for a couple of years and they're able to save money and are able to kind of like fund part of their education and have other family members help them fund it as well. However, I know it's very expensive. It's a lot of money. We're talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars for some schools. Some schools are less for sure, like, but it's still expensive. Okay, so that could be hard to do, but if you have that option, if you're able to do it, go for it. Second thing you can do is you can actually take private loans. All right, international students are actually eligible to apply for private loans. We're not eligible to apply for federal loans because that's coming from the federal government, but private loans do exist. However, the only caveat to that is that you need a cosigner. You need to find someone who is willing to cosign your loan. If you're able to find someone who can cosign it, you're good to go. Like, you could apply for the full cost of attendance, they'll include housing, feeding, and all of that. You could apply for just tuition if that's all you want to cover, but that's a possibility if you're able to find a cosigner. A good number of banks are open to giving students international loans if they have a cosigner, and the cosigner is really not paying for anything. They just have to have their name, you know, they have to have their names on the loans. They're doing this to ensure that they have a resident or a US citizen who can kind of attest to those loans, or who's responsible for those loans, because giving internationals a loan is a liability. So they need to make sure that there's someone in the country who can be held responsible for that money that you're borrowing. All right, and so you don't want to be reckless. You don't want to put someone in danger. And of course, people won't really agree to co-sign your loan if they don't trust you. So you probably have to like find a very close friend or family member who like would be able to vouch for you and cover your loans. But yeah, if you're able to find a cosigner, if you have family, if you have friends who are able to support you that way, I would opt for it. If you're not able to find a cosigner, that's when it gets really difficult. If you're not able to find a cosigner, you're not able to pay off pocket, it can get really difficult. I've only been able to find 2 companies that actually give you loans without a cosigner. The first one is Stilt, and the second one is Empower. Okay, so what I've heard so far about Stilt is that it's not as Like, the requirements are not crazy. They're very open towards internationals. I haven't really heard too much about them, to be very honest. So I would say definitely look them up. You can check stilt.com, and that would pop up, and just kind of look for, you know, if they have any specific requirements, you know, what you need to apply, if your school is eligible. I'll look up all that information. I'll probably just call them and just see what they offer. But yeah, that's one option. The second option is Empower. With Empower, I know that you're not you're only allowed to apply for the last 2 years. So you can't apply if you have 4 years of school left. You can only apply if you have 2 years of school left. So that means applying in your 3rd year or your 4th year. But they're able to cover a certain amount. I don't think it's the full cost. I think they have like probably only like 10K or 20K or something like that. But they're able to give you loans without a cosigner. They have some restrictions, so I would look into that. But yeah, those are like the only 2 that I've seen so far that give loans to international students without a cosigner. If I was to do anything, I'd definitely spend more time looking for a cosigner that would be able to cosign my loans if I was going the loan route. But if you're able to pay it off pocket, you could do that. If you're able to mix it, you could do that, you know, just to save yourself as much money as you can. Scholarships are also very low for internationals. If your school is supportive and able to sort of like maybe co-sign for you in some way, you can probably explore that option, you know. But then again, most medical schools don't do that, and that's why they are very slow to accepting internationals, because they don't want to run into an issue with an international where he or she is not able to pay their fees, and now they have to help you fund that. That's why schools are a little bit hesitant to accepting internationals. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I hope this was helpful. I know it's not a lot. It really is a struggle. I promise you, it is a struggle for me. It's a struggle for my other international friends who I know are in med school right now. It's hard. It's difficult. Yeah. It's just one of the sad things we got to deal with, and especially right now with the way things are, like this administration is not being very supportive towards internationals, and yeah, it's just crazy right now for internationals. So yeah, it really is crazy. I can't sugarcoat it. It's annoying, it's crazy, we're all living with it, but hopefully we're able to get through it. But yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Stay safe.